may, but tonight's game could be a defining one. If Francisco Liriano has another good outing, the Pirates might have found another solid starter. And if he is, and Jeff Locke continues his performance, and they get anything from either Charlie Morton, Jeff Carson, or Garrett Cole, now you've got a very good rotation. And with pitching always being the key, you might have insurance against another late-season collapse.
It's a beautiful night for baseball in Pittsburgh as the Pirates take on the Milwaukee Brewers in the finale of a 4-game series. The Bucks winning last night 3-1, and the Pirates have won 5 of their last 6 games, including 2 straight over the Milwaukee Brewers. So Steve trying to win a series. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, you and I were in New York, saw Francisco Liriano make his Pirates debut, but a special night because this is his home debut in a Pirates uniform.
Yeah, he was absolutely terrific in New York. 9 strikeouts in 5+ innings. He had 3 pitches working for him. His fastball was much better than average. His slider was absolutely terrific, and he had a changeup. So he's hitting all his spots. He was pitching out in front. Didn't show any signs of rust. He was just absolutely fine.
So he struck out 9 in 5 1/3 innings. He got up to 90 pitches. Pirates may be hoping for a little bit longer tonight. We'll see if we don't get that from Francisco Liriano. The Pirates, we said, Steve, have been winning series, and this is the finale of a 4-game series, trying to take another one against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Pirates playing very good baseball, 6 games over 500 now, and again looking to take a series.
Yeah, and what you want to do is take series. And it's tough enough to win 2 out of 3, but when you're talking about 4-game series, and there's a lot of them this year, they're really doing a terrific job. In fact, when they're winning these series, they're losing the first game and winning the final 3. That is so difficult to do against any major league team, so they've got a chance to do it now, and it's quite a rare feat, as you see by the statistics there. So they're going to have their chances. The young man pitching against them tonight has been bounced around a little bit lately, pitched well against the Pirates, but they're going to have their chance tonight to do another great job in a 4-game series. It's great work.
Well, the Pirates have not won a series of any kind against the Milwaukee Brewers since back in 2009 here at PNC Park. So a lot on the table tonight as the Pirates get ready to take on the Brew Crew in the finale of the 4-game set. Pirates and Brewers are coming up next.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks!
Really is a spectacular day here in Pittsburgh for the finale of this 4-game series. The homestand continues. Astros in for 3 over the weekend, starting tomorrow night, and then the Cubs next week. Pirates playing good baseball. In fact, one of the best records in all of baseball since April the 8th. Pirates have gone 22-12, and only the Yankees and Cardinals have better records than the Pirates and Texas Rangers since then. Francisco Liriano making his Pirates debut at PNC Park. Of course, he's pitched here before and pitched well as a member of the Minnesota Twins.
Great against the Mets last time out, and the more you know about Liriano, the more you know about control being the issue. His control is good, he is good.
The lineup for the Brewers: Ron Renneke, their skipper. Norichika Aoki, this series is 8 for 15 and hitting .400 this season against the Pirates. Gene Segura follows, then Ryan Braun. Jonathan Lucroy hits cleanup. Aramis Ramirez does not start tonight. Carlos Gomez is in center field. Yuniesky Betancourt returns to the hot corner. Ricky Weeks at second. Alex Gonzalez at first. And Hiram Burgos on the mound.
Francisco Liriano, his numbers brought to you by Chevy. They're quite brief after that one start, but that one start was very good. 9 strikeouts. Gave up 6 hits, but he only gave up 3 through the first 5 innings. The other 3 came as he tried to get through the 6th inning. That didn't work, but he was as advertised and more. We talk about his control, and his control is good. He's got 3 quality pitches that are very, very much above average, and he displayed all 3 of them against the Mets. Really good fastball, outstanding slider. That might have been the best of the 3, and a very, very good off-speed pitch. Looked like he hadn't skipped a beat. Just really, really good stuff. And this could be a big item for Francisco Liriano to get his feet back on the ground as a really consistent major league starter. And it could be a real blessing for the Pirates if he can be what we hope and expect him to be. And also, Tika's making a good point. This could be a springboard. You win this game, you've taken 3 out of 4. You got the Astros in. The opportunity could be presenting itself for a real strong Pirate run and an outstanding homestand. The Cubs haven't been tearing it up either, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got work to do tonight.
Norichika Aoki, the lone left-handed hitter in the lineup against Liriano. And it's ball 1, but that hasn't seemed to matter for Aoki. He, along with teammates Ryan Braun, Carlos Gomez, Gene Segura, are in the top 10 in batting against left-handed pitching this season. It is 2 balls and no strikes. Liriano's Pirates debut Saturday night at Citi Field in New York.
You're getting like Tim now. Saturday afternoon, maybe.
What do you mean?
Saturday afternoon in New York. Not Saturday night.
The game ended, it was at night.
All right.
2 balls and 1 strike. Now you're getting like Bob. Getting all literal on us.
We're here to be professional.
Exactly.
Doesn't happen.
No.
A lot.
Occasionally you run into one. 3-1. Fastball 95. Missed, and he falls behind Aoki. And that in the dirt, so not a good start here for Liriano as he walks the leadoff man. Defense for the Pirates tonight. Andrew McCutchen is in center field. He's flanked by Starling Marte and Travis Snyder. Pedro Alvarez back at third, and Clint Barmas back at short tonight. Neil Walker at second, Garrett Jones at first, and Russell Martin behind the plate. Pedro Alvarez did not start last night. He had real bad numbers in his career against Gallardo. So Brandon Inge started at third. One of Steve's keys to victory here tonight is to get Pedro Alvarez involved. Showing bunt, and he takes ball 1. Gene Segura.
Get Pedro involved. That was key number 2. First one was Liriano's second debut or second act. can't do it just once, so we want to see him tonight here in Pittsburgh against the Brewers. 8th career start against the Brew Crew.
There's a strike.
4-2 against Milwaukee. Out of San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. 29-year-old left-hander, 6'2", 215 pounds. Francisco Liriano.
1-1 runner goes. Pitch taken, and the throw down by Russell Martin. You got him! No one has thrown out more base runners than Russell Martin in the National League.
And he continues to emerge as the story for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2013. No contest, no controversy, clean work on a pitch downstairs.
Martin now has stolen caught 9 out of 19 attempting to steal. And it's a line drive base hit on the 2-1 pitch. Gene Segura, second in the league in hitting, and tops the National League in stolen bases.
Downstairs with Segura. Just drills it to left field. Something other than the fastball. Changeup, perhaps. Didn't have a lot of movement like the slider. Well, you send a message when you throw out the first base stealer. Not that he won't go, but you might get a thought of being a little more reluctant.
Braun drives one deep to center field. McCutchen back to the warning track at the wall, and yes, he made the catch. There's the Gold Glover, and what a play by Andrew McCutchen. Oh, my goodness.
How about the help that Liriano's getting right off the bat, literally. Martin throws out the base stealer, and Andrew McCutchen doesn't quit on a play on a line drive. This ball didn't have a lot of height. He's in the sun. He's got everything working against him, and he makes a spectacular play. He's got it measured, goes up in the air, and comes down with a baseball.
That's a special play because he didn't have time to try to gauge anything, camp under it.
Yep.
Sprinting back to center field. Braun can't believe it. And, of course, thanks to the good speed of Segura, he was all the way around second base and able to get back to first as Jonathan Lucroy steps to the plate.
That was so good. All the cops, we just want to report a robbery here at PNC Park. And going back and try to keep his eyes locked in, and he goes into the sun part of the field.
That's a fabulous play. Two outs. Ripped foul by Jonathan Lucroy. Gene Segura figures that's going to be extra bases, so he will get around second. Whoops.
Well, I'll tell you, from Segura's standpoint, it's worth the risk. That ball's not going to be caught more than twice in 100 times. As you said, it didn't have enough height to go back and measure it and get comfortable, so he had to sprint back into a sun field against the wall on the warning track.
Runner goes again, and a bobble and no throw from Russell Martin, so Segura has his 14th stolen base, leading the National League.
The opportunity ends right there if you don't get your handle on the ball.
Brewers, league leaders in steals. And over his career, Liriano has done a pretty good job of holding the runners in a base hit, and the Brewers will take the lead on a 1-2 pitch to Lucroy. Segura's stolen base leads to the first run of the game.
And our thanks to Andrew McCutchen and Russell Martin, because this first inning, top of the first, could really be ugly right now, but it's a one-run program to this point. And the Brewers having some good swings against Francisco Liriano.
Here's Carlos Gomez, the league's leading hitter. 365. Not surprising that he swung at that first pitch. 524 batting average on that first pitch. Swinging at over half of them. That leads the league, that swing rate percentage. And that is fouled off to the right. He and Francisco Liriano became good buddies when they were with the Twins. Carlos Gomez was traded from the Mets to the Twins in February of 2008 in the Johan Santana deal. Spent a couple years with Minnesota, then traded to the Brewers for J.J. Hardy. Count 0-2, and Lucroy gets back.
Now, you don't expect Lucroy to run very much. He's had 2 attempts, and he's been thrown out one of the 2.
0-2, swing and a miss, and a pitch in the dirt for the strikeout. So the Brewers strike in the first. Great play by Andrew McCutchen. Otherwise, it could have been worse. First inning. Toyota starting lineup for Clint Hurdle's Bucks. They are 23-17. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. And Starling Marte will lead things off. He'll be followed by Travis Snyder and Andrew McCutchen. Garrett Jones will hit cleanup. And it's Neil Walker. And after Walker, it's Russell Martin. Last 10 games, hitting .333 with 4 home runs over his last 10. Pedro Alvarez, Clint Barmes, Francisco Liriano. The Toyota starting lineup for the Pirates against Hiram Burgos.
25-year-old rookie, native of Puerto Rico. The numbers for Hiram. And which Hiram Burgos will we see? The one that pitched extremely well against the Pittsburgh Pirates? Or the one that got beat up by the Cincinnati Reds last time out? 3 innings, 10 earned runs, but pitched very well against the Bucks. 7 runs, or 7 innings, and just a couple runs given up.
It's just his 5th major league start.
Not a flamethrower, a lot of off-speed stuff. Very good control. 1-1 with an ERA that borders on 7.
His 3rd major league start was against the Pirates on May the 1st at Miller Park. Did not walk a batter, struck out 6, gave up a 2nd inning home run to Pedro Alvarez. And a 7th inning home run to Michael McHenry. Starling Marte in the hole, 0-2. Last night, 1 for 4.
Rapid ascent up the organizational ladder for Burgos last year. Started in A ball, went to AA and AAA. Now he's in the big leagues.
Replaced Mike Fiers in the Brewers rotation. Fiers ineffective
that name stands out in this series. He threw the home run to Andrew McCutchen, the walk-off.
Broken bat roller. Segura going to be tested. Up with it, throws, and he got him.
Almost looked like he was having trouble getting a grip on the ball as he made his way in toward the grass. But he's real good. He's quick. Strong throw. Got him.
Broken bat roller.
Anytime that Marte breaks a bat and it's a slow roll to the infield, you think he's got at least a 50-50 shot of beating it out.
Those are two pretty good young players right there. You're seeing Segura throwing out Marte. We've been hearing those two names for a long time.
How many close plays have there been at first base in this series?
A lot. A couple of them involving Marte. Travis Snider takes the pitch in the dirt.
And the ones involving Marte haven't gone the Pirates' way because of some good infield play.
Snider 2 for 6 in the series. 1 ball, 1 strike the count on the right fielder. McCutchen to follow. And that one misses. Snider did not play in that game against Burgos, did not face Burgos in that May 1st start. Tabata was the right fielder on that particular afternoon. That was an afternoon game, not a night game.
Mm-hmm. But it ended close tonight.
3-1. No, it wasn't close. It was a 3-hour game.
All right.
It ended at 3 o'clock. 3 balls, 1 strike the count. And he looks at a strike. Burgos pitched well for Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic. McCutchen waits on deck. And that's hit the other way, and Braun is over. And it slices into the seats. We'll do it again.
We know one thing, Ryan Braun does not quit on balls that are slicing away, hit by left-hand batters. He made a sensational catch in the extra inning game, and we thought we had the great opportunity to win it, but he came up with a sparkler. Fans have been on him the entire series, but that happens all over the league.
Yep. He's heard it all. Driven to center field. Gomez back. 2 outs. Snider lines out to the center fielder. Gomez makes the play, and now it's Andrew McCutchen facing Burgos, who spent 3 years pitching at Bethune Cookman College in Daytona Beach and then was drafted in the 6th round by the Brewers in 2009.
What an amazing story when you think of going from A ball to AA to AAA in all in 1 year. I mean, that's not as common as you might think. And that 88-mile-an-hour fastball is about at the top of his range in terms of speed. Of course, there's been video on him. The Pirates did face him, so they know all about him in this information age.
The overshifting on Andrew McCutchen. The second baseman swung over to the left side. McCutchen is 1 for 12 in this series. That one hit, of course, the walk-off home run, but he's hit the ball hard. He is 6 for 25 this season against Milwaukee. This is Game 7 of the season series. And another hard hit ball, and that's how you beat the shift.
Hit it hard enough.
Between the second baseman Weeks and the shortstop Segura on the left side of the infield. That must feel good for McCutchen in a number of ways. You know, you get the hit, but you beat that shift.
If you hit the ball hard enough, no matter where they're placed, if they have to move it all, there's not time.
Right.
Simply not time. Ball stung.
Weeks. Well, McCutchen stole a couple of bases last night.
You know what? You've got a young pitcher out there. Why don't we steal 5 bases, 5-6 bases tonight?
All right. Well, Lucroy has been struggling. 1 out of 15 he's caught. We said McCutcheon stole a couple last night, and I think he kind of goes in spurts. He starts to feel more confident about it. He swiped a couple last night. Maybe he'll get it going again. Not this time, and Jones swings and misses.
For a young pitcher, that first move was above average in terms of quickness over to first base. Nothing sluggish about it.
A very quick move there. No one's attempted to steal yet while Burgos has been on the mound. Jones 0 for 6 in the series, a pinch hitter last night. And now behind in the count, 0-2, and so far the Brewers have done a pretty good job pitching against Jones, 2 for 19. 6 games played so far. Jones was 0 for 3 against Burgos back on May the 1st. Oh, and 2 the count. And fouls that fastball away.
And again, 88 miles an hour. So as you look at Garrett Jones preparing for another 0-2 pitch, how do you succeed in the big leagues when you've got a fastball that tops out at 88? Well, you throw your breaking stuff and your off-speed stuff, and you stay out in front in the count. You pitch ahead and you have good control. You can do it. A lot of pitchers have done it. You don't have to be over 90 miles an hour.
0-2, and just a bit up. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Garrett Jones.
You would almost think this is a pretty good climate to run in, because if he swings and misses, the inning is over anyway. And he's probably trying to stay away from the middle of the strike zone, so you might get something that might create a little difficult situation for the catcher.
Very quick throw there.
Again, yeah, he's
Burgos, quick move.
Better than average.
Brewers minor league pitcher of the year last season. Steve talked about his rise up through the organization, 3 different levels. Combined 10-4, 195 ERA last year. And he strikes out Garrett Jones. 1 inning complete at PNC Park. 1-0 Brewers. Very much. Pirates finally a chance to gain a game on the first place Cardinals. Outstanding start from Jonathan Neese. Strike is called on Yuniesky Betancourt.
Thank goodness the Pirates have been playing as well as they've been playing, or you'd be losing a good bit of ground.
I guess a rally was ignited by Jordani Valdespin today, the Mets player who was involved in the controversy over the weekend at Citi Field, and a big story today in the USA Today about the young Mets player, the lightning rod. 1-2 the count on Betancourt. Betancourt 0 for 10 in the series and 2 for 22 on this current road trip. All fouled past third. A road trip that will continue into St. Louis. Started in Cincinnati for these Brewers. They were swept in the 3-game series at Great American Ballpark. One-two pitch, and he got him. Let's go downstairs to Robbie Inzmakowski.
Well, I'm hanging out here in left field, Greg. I'm at the suite, the social media suite tonight. We have an all-you-can-tweet event going on tonight. And fans, you can be a part of this back at home. Use the hashtag ACYT or AYCT, all-you-can-tweet Bucks. So it's AYCT Bucks is the hashtag, and one random tweeter is going to win this. An authenticated Andrew McCutchen signed ball. The Pirates account at Pirates is being they're retweeting all the tweets from all these fans here tonight and all their observations from the game. So if you log on to the Pirates Twitter page at Pirates, you can see all the retweets, and they're coming from these fans right here, including one. I'm going to win this. Look at that. A nice Andrew McCutchen signed baseball is going to one random tweeter watching and tweeting along with everyone. Again, the hashtag is AYCT Bucks. All you can tweet Bucks. Be a part of it. Never know what could happen, right, Greg?
So those are the all-you-can-tweet seats, huh?
They are,
Very clever.
They're not the all-you-can-eat suites because I see more iPads than I do chicken fingers and fries right now. So, yeah, pretty much.
The all-you-can-tweet seats.
You will not see John Wayner there.
No. Andrew McCutchen, autographed baseball. And Ricky Weeks swings and misses. Home run last night for Weeks, his third. He has really struggled.
This is where Liriano's at his best, out in front in the count, as most pitchers are. But with his stuff, quality-wise, when he's out in front, 0-2, 1-2, he can make him chase with good stuff. A good sinking fastball there that is not chased.
Oh, yeah, right there. 3 straight strikeouts now for Francisco Liriano, who fanned 9 Mets in just 5 1/3 innings. His first Pirate start.
Very nice.
Liriano struck out 201 batters 3 years ago with the Twins when he went 14-10. And the Pirates pitching staff has now struck out 333 opposing batters. That's good for second in the National League behind the Cincinnati Reds. The Pirates have not finished as high as second in the league in strikeouts since 1983.
Delivered right where Russell Martin wanted that ball. Didn't get the call, but that's always a good indicator. Catcher sets up a little extreme, not right in back of the middle of home plate, and you find the glove. Like that.
So Steve, maybe searching for that control or command in that first inning, maybe kind of finding it here, perhaps.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen in the first inning. Come in from the bullpen, you're feeling good, getting your feet on the ground. He's got his feet on the ground right now. He's delivering the ball where he wants to. And there you go, forcing a batter to chase a borderline pitch because they don't want to be called out on strikes.
And looking to strike out the side in succession. You saw that note the last time the Pirates pitching staff led the league in strikeouts, 19-21. And this is what Neil Huntington has wanted since coming on board. He wanted more guys with swing and miss stuff. Strikeout pitcher Steve takes out all the variables, right?
Yeah, nobody moves.
Yeah.
It's the big shutdown.
A.J. Burnett leads the National League in strikeouts. Pirates right-hander will start on Saturday night, and there's another. 4 in a row for Francisco Liriano. 1-0 Brewers. Lead it. Don't miss your chance to win an autographed Neil Walker jersey by tuning in to this week's Sunday Night Classics. Watch Neil Walker and his Pine Richland Rams in the 2002 WPIAL football finals and look for the keyword to enter for your chance to win. Watch and win during Sunday Night Classics. Future Phenoms on Field. Sunday at 8 on Root Sports. Neil Walker, outstanding athlete. Pine Richland, first drafted in the first round by the Pirates as a catcher. Tries this one, but foul. Pirates thought that they had a long-time catcher in the making in Ronnie Polino. Had a great first year with the Pirates. Remember that, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
They thought that they were set for years to come. That, along with perhaps Walker not being great defensively, although I've argued that point. Talking to some people in the baseball organization, some folks who are no longer with the organization, I argued that there are a lot of young players in the minor leagues that don't look good defensively, and you don't move them from that position. They did. They moved him to third. This ball popped up. Shortstop Segura going to give way to Braun.
And we lose track of what it is to transition at a professional level to various positions. I mean, go catcher, third base to second base, maybe the busiest spot in the infield. And we've gotten to the point now where we don't remember how much that involves, or I don't know if we get enough of appreciation.
It's underrated
yeah.
How tough that is. And he goes to third base, and then they trade for Andy LaRoche, and then they draft Pedro Alvarez, and so now that's a full position. So they move him around the infield, and then
at the highest level, you're
Eagle
going
Mora
to the
gets
busiest
hurt,
position.
and they bring him up, and there's a line drive to left center field for Russell Martin, and Russell Martin going to have himself 2 bases, and a nice play from Braun, but Russell Martin back in the lineup. A 1-out double to left center field.
That's becoming his neighborhood. The left center field gap. You know, when the ball leaves the bat, the direction it's going, it's a chance for 2 bases because it's just a laser in between the left fielder and the center fielder. So the opportunity is going to be there. He sees it. He looks at the direction. So Oh, he's got 2 bases in his mind halfway down to first base.
Russell Martin,
Above average speed.
top OPS among National League catchers. That's slugging plus on-base percentage. And now Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez did not start last night. 0 for 8 in the series with 5 strikeouts. He is 2 for 20 this season against Milwaukee pitching. Ball popped up, and looks like it's going to be out of play. Alvarez hit the home run against Burgos we talked about at Miller Park back on May the 1st. Alvarez with 1 out in the 2nd inning, and the Pirates down 1-0, ties it up. A bomb. That was his 5th of the season. He's hit another since. Pirates have tried to have him concentrate on that notch that Steve just talked about, that Russell Martin's alley. Trying to encourage Alvarez to think that way, think left center. Of course, now the shift is on, so in terms of the infield, that's wide open. That left center gap is what the Pirates would love to see Alvarez concentrate on.
Martinsville.
Pulls it, and that will be the 2nd out. Bringing up Barmes. That's what Burgos, of course, and the Brewers were hoping for. Ground ball to the right side there, and that's out number 2. It brings up Barmes, who has a 6-game hitting streak.
Now they can pick their poison. Do they want to deal with Barmes or Liriano? And Jonathan Lucroy has been around a lot longer than Burgos, so he goes out, lets him know what's going to happen with his approach to the number 8 hitter in the Pirates lineup.
And grounded foul. Sir.
Hey, you got
now you got it all, don't you?
You got the nachos and the ball.
Now give me that. How that way you get food all over it. Oh man, Barmes hit around the neck. So it brings up Liriano. Left shoulder.
Right on the tip of the shoulder. Yep. Kind of a glancing blow from that angle, which is good for Clint. Not his first dance. He's been hit before. He's been around a long time.
Alex Gonzalez has been around a long time. Checks on Barmes, says he's all right. Now Liriano, 0 for 3 this season, 2 for 20 in his career. I'll tell you, pitcher was taking batting practice yesterday, and he hit an absolute bomb over the right center field wall that bounced toward the river. Not that that means anything, batting practice, but it tells you what Liriano's got in him.
Bragging rights included.
Pitchers BP, they love that stuff. Martin at 3rd, Barmes at 1st, and a ground ball. Segura will throw to 1st and get Liriano for the final out. We'll talk to Clint Hurdle next. Just saw the Martin double in left center field, but I wanted to ask you about that defensive play he made, because I was really intrigued by your comment last night that you thought that was one of the better defensive plays you've ever seen from a catcher. That tells you a lot about how great he is.
He's got tremendous athleticism. He plays with an edge every night, takes it on the bases, takes it behind the plate, takes it in the batter's box. He's just been a wonderful addition for so many different reasons. That play last night, I mean, he travels 20 feet out from behind the box, slips, still gets a throw off with something on to get a really fast runner. Critical part of the game. Top shelf play.
Clint, it's early on for Francisco Liriano, but if he does what we think he's capable of doing, how much of a key could that be for him really solidifying the rotation?
Well, it'll be big. I mean, this guy has had layers of success at the major league level. He's had some inconsistency. He's a young man. He's less than 30 years old.
Clint, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you also said today, because we don't have much time, but you were at the quarter pole about the things that you like about this 2013 Pirates team.
I just like the direction we're headed. We've got the best starting rotation depth we've ever had. The bullpen's in a good place. The lineup plays out longer than it ever has, and our bench is stronger than we've had since I've been here. We're in a good place.
All right. Thanks so much, Clint.
You're welcome.
Clint Hurdle taking some time to answer a couple questions for us. And, yeah, I think the Pirates are in a good place. Strike is called on Burgos. 1 ball and 1 strike to count, especially if this pitching comes along.
Yeah, and combine that with the fact you're playing a lot of 7-inning games right now with the way these guys are doing the 8th and 9th inning.
1-2 on Burgos.
Yeah, we're going to be a 5 strikeout string for Liriano.
You think this is going to be 5 straight?
Too?
Here's the Shark Tank. Pirates bullpen.
Wait a minute. What is this all about?
It's a base hit for Burgos. First career hit.
Strikes out 4 in a row. Dominating.
Want to get that baseball? Add it to the souvenirs that Burgos has already acquired. Yeah, deep end of the Shark Tank. Melanson and Grilli, as good as it gets. And the ERA, Melanson first, Grilli in the top 10. Both, in fact, the top 10 in just about every pitching category. Saves for Grilli, tied for the most in the major leagues with Mariano Rivera. Here's Aoki. And he drives one deep. Snyder to the track. Makes the catch. Aoki flies to the track and right. And brings up Segura. Liriano struck out 4 in a row, then gives up the hit to his mound opponent. Gets Aoki to fly to right and now faces Segura, who singled and stole a base in the first. We talked last time we saw Burgos on the mound about how his teammates got on him. After he made his debut in the big leagues against the Chicago Cubs, the first pitch he threw, apparently, the story goes, that he rolled the baseball to the Brewers dugout as a souvenir. So his teammates then decided to take off on that gesture and have some fun with him. When he returned to his locker, there were 6 baseballs on a shelf with different inscriptions, including first bounce changeup, 59 feet 6 inches versus DeJesus. First strikeout as a hitter versus Edwin Jackson. There's even a towel draped over his chair with the inscription, first towel sat on during a game. So it wasn't surprising. Of course, he gets his first hit. Anybody's going to do that.
And I'm sure
souvenir.
The other baseballs had a degree of profanity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
also.
that's the clean version. Another strikeout.
Well, he had 9 against the Mets.
He's got 5 so far.
Downstairs.
As we said, after Burgos got that hit, as is customary, a pitcher or position player going to throw that baseball out of play, and it's going to be a souvenir, and that's exactly what happened when Burgos got the leadoff hit here in the third, his first major league hit. Ryan Braun at the plate. Sent a ball to the wall in center, and a fabulous play was made by McCutchen. Here's what they did with the baseball. We're talking about some of the fun his teammates had earlier. Kyle Loesch, of course, he's the culprit most times. Loesch will pretend to flip that baseball into the seats, and he's got the real one snuck underneath his warm-up.
Nice, good hands.
Yep.
Good, like pivot. You know, could be a second baseman.
Wow. Over everything. Wild pitch moves as Burgos to second.
Just caught a flyer. High fastball running away from Russell Martin.
One nothing Brewers. Braun tries to bring home the pitcher, Burgos. Braun thought for sure he had at least a double in the first inning with Segura
So
on at
did
first.
Segura did also.
But Andrew McCutchen made a top-notch play to rob Braun of extra bases, leaping at the wall. Braun still tied for 9th in the league with 26 RBIs. A strike.
Ryan Braun not happy with the call, but showing that it was a good call. Home plate umpire Bill Welke. Up with the right hand and got a 2-2 count.
Movement there. Martin, I think, thought that they might get a call. This time it goes the way of Braun. 3-2. Bill Welke, Adrian Johnson, Fielding Culbreth, and Brian Honora, the umpires. Fielding Culbreth, good to see him back. He took a foul ball off the collarbone the other night.
Crew chief in this group. Thank you. That would have been ball 4.
MVP a couple of years ago, Ryan Braun. Pirate fans on hand, hoping the Bucks can win 3 straight over the Milwaukee Brewers, a team that has given them so much trouble over the years. Victory tonight would give the Bucks 3 straight wins over Milwaukee for the first time since 2010. And in the dirt, Braun draws the walk.
Second one issued for Liriano, from Liriano. Surge out to talk to Liriano. You know, we're talking about Russell Martin, and we really should, both with the bat and what he gives to this ball club. I remember interviewing Tony La Russa 2 years ago, asking him about his most valuable player, and he spent 15 minutes on Yadier Molina as the catcher, being the key and the linchpin of that ball club. And who knows what we might see down the road from Russell Martin. But right now, he's heading in that kind of a direction for this baseball team, for this particular team. He's strong right now for this club. Very strong.
Signed a 2-year free agent contract. Pirates outbid a handful of other teams, including the Yankees. Gold Glover, All-Star Russell Martin. See that reflection again we saw at the opening game of this series. Caused some problems for about a half an inning as the sun sets. The previous 2 nights mainly cloudy skies, so that was not a problem at all.
It's off to the side of the pitcher a little bit, but it's still a factor. Still there.
Yes, he went.
And it was because of that reflection he went.
It's a factor. 0-2. Lucroy, the RBI single in the first that brought home Segura.
Now, I don't know if the batter sees it to that degree. that much of a shine, and it's also off to the side of the pitcher.
Tapper, Liriano fields and gets Lucroy. To the bottom of the third at PNC Park. Brewers lead 1-0.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks.
Welcome back. 1-0 Milwaukee. In the bottom of the third. Tonight's Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. National League leaders in hits. Look, Gerardo Parra, Gene Segura with 51. And Starling Marte tied with Carlos Gomez. Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Segura now up with 52, updated.
Let's just hope we're waving that flag in another couple hours or so. Just like that.
Yep. Marte had a broken bat roller to the shortstop Segura, his first time.
And for the time being, it doesn't look like Burgos has a hangover from that outing against the Cincinnati Reds.
Man.
That had to be a tough one to swallow for a 10-year veteran or a rookie.
And for Ron Renneke, 10 runs. Ron Renneke said it was tough to leave him in there, but the bullpen was so short. He said you don't like to leave anybody out there, but especially for a younger player.
But you can understand what they like about him with the way he pitched against the Pirates. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs.
High in the air toward center fielder Gomez. A couple of steps shy of the fence.
See, that's the difference. And that's an average play because the height of the fly ball. You got plenty of time to go back, find out where you were, get to where you think you should be. Then you got time to adjust and give a little bit ground if the ball's carrying, as opposed to the catch that Andrew McCutchen made when he didn't have those things. Line drive.
Snyder lined out to Gomez in the first inning. So they've left the field. Baseball game's over, so taking in Major League game.
Yeah, they all got out here. The umpires, the players. Way to do it.
Someday.
Everybody's got their dreams.
It's going to be a tough play. Burgos mishandles, and that costs him a chance to get Snyder.
Quickly rule the base hit. You got to reverse your follow through, shut it down, get over there, and then find the handle. Can't throw it before you find the handle. That AGH can't, it captures it. And you put the Vulcan grip on it, finally. And it's too late. The Vulcan grip, Randy Tomlin. Were you here?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was in the minors, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what he called the change up
grip. McCutchen now takes the breaking ball in the dirt. Steve, just before we leave the subject of umpires, we were showing the umpire in the stands and Field and Colbert. Did you hear that Joe Torre made a presentation today to an owners meeting about expanded replay, that using replay to judge balls and strikes is off limits, but almost anything else is up for discussion?
Sorry to hear that.
2 balls, no strikes.
I know you disagree with that.
No, I don't. Honest to goodness, I don't. I've gone back and forth with it.
Yeah, with all the technology and information, how can anybody possibly fail anymore?
I know. I like the arguments. I like the human element.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
the case I would
I'm
offer.
fine with replay the way it is now.
Yep.
Ball hammered to center field. Gomez turns around all the way around and makes the catch.
And he did a good job because he hit that ball so hard it kind of hooked. Even though it was hit straight away, it looked like it was going to be on the right field side of him, but then it had so much impact that it kind of hooked back. See him reverse his field and get back over there. That's a very good play. Again, the line drives to center field are the toughest. Ball tattooed.
He's talking to himself. He's hit the ball as hard as he has in any stretch of games, I think, in his career the past week.
I don't often see him with that angry look.
He said that after the game the other night, hit the game winner. He said he was sprinting around the bases because he didn't know what to think anymore. He's hit the ball so hard. Snyder back.
I would love to talk to Al Oliver right now, because Scoop used to hit the ball so hard and he'd come back in the dugout and we'd all get around and say, just one of those batted bats, Al. Just hang in there. You'll start hitting those line drives and he'd go crazy because he hit the ball so hard and so many times right at somebody.
I mean, you think about it, who's on first base right now? Travis Snyder.
Yep.
Michael McHenry. Oh, where you'll
be all right.
right.
It's going to be okay.
But Snyder's so-called base hit.
Yeah, right. Nubbed the ball. Hey, by the way, while we were showing those youngsters, had a note. There's a good friend of mine. His son is in the ballpark, Stone Ellis, from the South Park Baseball League. And the whole gang is here. They spent a whole afternoon at the ballpark. Got the tour, got to get on the field. Great day for those youngsters.
Good stuff.
Glad to see him here.
Yep. There goes Snyder. Pitch is taken for a ball, and Snyder has himself a stolen base. That's his first in 3 attempts.
Very good jump.
Travis Snyder now in scoring position for Jones.
Yeah, let's return the favor on these guys.
2-2 as Burgos throws just about everything up there. Changeup, curveball, slider.
Kitchen sink.
Fastball, a little bit of the cutter. Two and two, and now it takes too much time. Jones calls time.
And we'll continue to say hello to folks and get acknowledgments in whenever we get a moment or two.
There's that defense against Garrett Jones. Who else you got here, Steve?
Yeah, well, we have a moment. Say hello to Ken Faust, great Pirate fan, a little bit under the weather. Doesn't miss a Pirate game, and I hope you're feeling better. You had a moment there?
Absolutely. And a ground ball right to the second baseman, Ricky Weeks. And the Pirates strand another runner. They've left 4 for the first 3 innings.
And one of the best hitters in the NL, Carlos Gomez, coming to the plate. A career 5-for-9 hitter with 2 home runs against Francisco Liriano. And I asked Gomez before the game about his success against Liriano. And he said he attributes it more to him facing Liriano when he's on a hot streak than he has a chance to hit Liriano better. But later in the conversation, he added that I've been a former teammate of his. They played together with the Twins for a few seasons before Gomez was traded to the Brewers. He said, I also know his tendencies. Sometimes when he's behind an account or maybe even ahead in an account, I know how he might react, and I know the emotional level that Liriano operates on, and sometimes that is a benefit to me. But so far, Liriano has won the battle thus far, striking out Gomez in inning number 1, Greg.
Yeah, that was his first of 5 strikeouts tonight. Getting Gomez after the RBI single by Lucroy in the first. They grounded sharply but right at Alvarez. So he wins that battle as well, Robbie. 5-3 on the putout.
That brings up a good point, too. When you're on a hot streak, it really doesn't matter who's out there on the mound. If you're locked in, I think most hitters will tell you they're going to get their good swings and their good at bats when they're on that good hot streak. Works the other way too. When the pitcher's hot, I don't care what kind of tear you're on, he's going to get you out most of the time.
And a base hit for Betancourt. Snaps a hitless string for him. Saturday, Bucks Astros 7:05. First 25,000 fans take home one of these A.J. Burnett replica camo jersey bobbleheads thanks to Xfinity. Plus, get to the game early. Team Photo Fest. Come on out and take pictures of your favorite Pirate players. Make sure you enter the Trib Total Media home plate gate starting at 4 o'clock. For Team Photo Fest. For tickets, go to Pirates.com.
That will be a hot item.
Pirates will be wearing the camo jerseys Friday night and Saturday night.
Astros come to town.
The American League Club, Houston Astros. They are 11-30 on the season. The fewest wins, tied with the Marlins. Fewest wins in Major League Baseball. Ricky Weeks. Takes a strike. Weeks struck out looking in the second. He's among the league leaders in strikeouts this season, top 5, 44. But he's also in the top 10 and having drawn 22 walks, 7th most in the league. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
Those figures don't usually go together. The guys that strike out a lot swing at a lot of bad pitches. It should reduce the number of walks.
All fouled out of play by Weeks. He's 2 for 9 in the series. Drafted in the first round 10 years ago. And is still under contract through the 2014 season. So they're trying to be as patient as they can with Ricky Weeks, because they know the kind of power that he has, but they're going to have to start doing something soon.
That's a lot of patience.
Patient to lay off that one. Very close.
Get a call on that on occasion.
That really was very, very close. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. And now 3-2. Here's one of those situations, the walks and the strikeouts. He's at 3-2. Liriano so far with 5 punch outs and 2 walks.
I'm calling for a punch him out, throw him out.
Oh man, that's a huge call there, Steve. So that Alex Gonzalez will not come to the plate. Betancourt will be taking off on this pitch.
He doesn't run much.
Well, sometimes of course you don't run a guy that strikes out a lot. And he goes down. Number 6.
I think Betancourt missed a sign there.
Yep.
Should have been running. Right downstairs.
So 2 outs. And the batter, Alex Gonzalez. He takes ball 1. He was 0 for 3 last night. 36-year-old veteran Venezuelan who missed a lot of last year, torn ACL in May. Played only 24 games. He's in the 2nd year of a 2-year deal. Fly ball to left. Marte will take care of that one. So Francisco Liriano puts up another 0. Pirates trail 1-0, head to the bottom of the 4th.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Joseph A. Bank. We fit everyone. Visit josephabank.com. Let's go Bucks.
Bucks down a run. We're rooting on the Buccos. Let's go Bucks.
You know, Greg, I'm a little surprised in this series there hasn't been more scoring. I mean, we had a 5-1 game, then 4-3, and then 3-1, 1-0 tonight.
Especially as the weather warmed up. We kind of all anticipated.
Yeah.
Which the temperature last couple days warmed up.
Of course, pitching, has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, no question. What's Wandy doing? Imitating Liriano, I guess. Ray Searage likes it.
Entertaining.
Yeah. Junmar Gomez will go tomorrow. Well, Neil Walker leads off here in the bottom of the 4th. Walker flied to left in the 2nd inning. He has 3 out of 14 in the series. The big bases loaded 2-run single last night. He is now 17 out of 34 lifetime with the bases loaded, a career 500 hitter. He likes the RBI opportunities. Neil Walker. Heard Clint Hurdle tell us earlier tonight about this lineup. It's deeper. And with Walker back after missing some time with the lacerated hand, that'll certainly help matters. I don't think it was a coincidence that the Pirates struggled second half of last year, especially in September, and Walker missed so much time. And now he's down on strikes, and boy, that's got to be frustrating against Burgos. His second strikeout. We have a tweet here. Watching the game with the family, wondering who the Pirates team MVP so far is. That's Shyler Smith next to AT&T. Tweet the booth. Hashtag Bucks booth. I guess Russell Martin will.
We got some good candidates.
Yeah, he certainly is one.
Marte is a candidate.
Yeah.
Your closer is a candidate. And there's a guy that won't get much attention, but is done great, and he's sitting right next to Jason Grilli. Mark Melancon has done a fabulous job. And the Pirates are 6 games over 500, so it's good to have candidates.
Do you have a choice? You had to have one guy? Tough call.
Yes, I do. If that ball comes down, there's going to be an out. I've always been a guy who has had really a lot of respect for closers. Some people say you pick closers off a tree. I would go with a closure. Getting 3 outs in the 9th inning. I'm a big fan of closers. I don't think they grow on trees.
We were talking to Brian Anderson, TV voice of the Brewers, before the game, and talking about that. In my opinion, this is the first time that the Pirates have had an absolute lights-out closer that I can recall since
without
Jim
drama.
Gott.
Without drama.
Yeah, since Jim Gott. And maybe even before that, Goose Gossage.
Yeah. The power guys, those guys just shut it down. No contest. I think in the final analysis, you'd have a lot of votes for Martin, a lot of votes for Grilli.
And Marte.
And Marte and Melancon.
And that's all we need.
And that's all we need, and along with his pencil and this eraser, and that's all we need. It's all Steve Martin needed in the jerk.
That's right. 2-1 on Pedro Alvarez.
And this bottle of water. And that's all
this
we need.
computer.
Yep.
This headset.
And cat juggling.
Now it's 3-1, and this is an interesting time here. I telling you this, Steve, last night, just looking back. Pedro Alvarez has gone now 49 straight plate appearances without a walk. 1 unintentional walk in the last 96 plate appearances. He's ahead of the count, 3-1. And he walks.
It worked.
Jay Bell taking notes. I mean, I assume, looking at those numbers, for a big power guy to have that few walks and almost 100 plate appearances, either it's impatience or I guess perhaps they're going right after him and he's coming up empty. Though he's gone through stretches, too, where he is, matter of fact, talk about New York. Pedro Alvarez had a good 4-game series.
But they do go after him.
Yeah.
See, when Pedro's struggling, I mean, let's be honest, he looks bad. When he's not struggling, when he's hitting, he just drags the whole team along with him. So there's two sides.
The team.
But when he's struggling, he is so pitchable. You can start him out with slow stuff and get him out with fastball. You can start him out with hard stuff and go back. So you have a lot of options. You don't necessarily have to hit a lot of corners, because when he's cold, he's just very cold, very pitchable. Just pray for those hot streaks.
And I still think it's such a great sign that this club is 6 games over 500, given the fact that Alvarez has not gone on one of those big tears.
And Andrew has been on one real big tear.
Yeah. They're getting contributions from different guys in the lineup, including this guy here. Month of May, he's hitting .344, and there goes Pedro Alvarez, and Alvarez steals a base and thinks about going to third, but then thinks better of it, which was a smart move. Alvarez steals second base.
And what we're seeing now is what we're talking about early in the ballgame. The Pirates maybe seeing something, taking advantage of a young pitcher who, when he decides to go to first base, is fairly quick, but when he decides to go to home, you're getting 5-6 steps, and you can all run.
It's his 3rd career stolen base. His first this season. Bucks are 0 for 3 so far tonight with men in scoring position. That has been a problem area for the Pirates the past several games. And line foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Clint Barmes.
But 16 the other night, or 14,
0 for 15.
And won the game.
Yep. Talking about getting contributions from everybody, and that includes guys that aren't necessarily everyday starters. Brandon Inge has been a great addition for the club.
It's a better bench.
Yep. Barmes with a fly ball to left. Braun going back to the warning track, nearing the wall and off the base of the wall. Barmes brings home Alvarez with a double. It's tied at 1.
And that was a funny look watching Ryan Braun.
I think Braun thought that thing was going to be into the seats.
Yeah, but and initially it almost looked like he had it measured. A confusing look watching him. I was watching him more than the flight of the ball. This ball is downstairs, and he picks it up off the ground. Maybe had that underspin that carries it a lot further.
I mean, when he looks back
later on, yeah, he thought it was gone. That's going downstairs and picking it up off the plate.
Burgos watches as Barmes extends his hitting streak to 7 straight games, batting close to .400 the last 2 weeks. Here's Liriano, tied at 1.
How about that stolen base now?
Yeah, helps produce a run.
That was a funny look, because early on I thought he had it measured, but then he looked back like it was over the fence.
Yeah, that was really strange. On a strike on Liriano. Here's another look at Ryan Braun. Drifting back, figures he's got it measured, and then it's gone.
I do know when you hit the ball hard and you hit the bottom half, it imparts that spin that's the carry spin that will carry the ball further rather than hit it on the top of the ball. That top spin will want to force the ball to go down quicker.
Three doubles for Barmes on the season. Pirates have tied it up. Liriano trying to help himself. Long-time American League pitcher, so not a ton of at-bats. 21 ABs in his career. And he rolls this one and backhanded by Weeks. He throws out Liriano, but the Pirates get some two-out action. The walk to Alvarez, the stolen base, and the Barmes double. It's 1-all.
High school athlete. The thing about him, I mean, he kind of did everything on the field. You know, he played receiver. He played free safety against us. He was our best defensive back. Made a ton of tackles against the game. He all around everything guy. You know, he scored touchdowns, played great defense. So we looked at him and said, that's a great athlete, and that's someone that we need to stop.
On the next Sunday Night Classics, we go back to Neil Walker's football days at Pine Richland. He and his Rams battle future NFLer. You just heard from Paul Posluszny and the Hopewell Vikings in the 2002 WPIAL Finals. Hear the story retold by Neil Walker, Paul Posluszny, Matt Fantana, and others. Sunday Night Classics, Future Phenoms, on field Sunday at 8 on Root Sports. Great athlete, Neil Walker. Talked about that earlier. Now the fifth inning begins. The Pirates tied at 1. Fired up Bucco fans. It is Hiram Burgos at the plate. And it's ball 1. Burgos singled to start the third. He begins the fifth inning here. One of 4 hits against Liriano. And it is 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 2. Liriano has struck out 6 batters. He's walked a couple.
He's got this young man again in a bad spot. Let's see if he can finish him off. No, can't.
Picked up his first big league hit in that third inning. And he gets him.
All right.
7 strikeouts.
Want to see if we can maybe do a quick demonstration on what we're talking about how you make contact with the ball. If you have the ball, like if you're hitting the top of the ball, it's going to impart a down spin, which is going to take it down. Now, if you hit the bottom of the ball, your spin will take off, and it will carry and take off and have the upper spin, which will make it go further.
So you're saying that's kind of what Barmes did then, right?
I'm thinking, yeah, he hit the bottom of the ball, so it imparts that underspin, which will carry the ball further.
Makes sense. Another look at the hit in the HH cam.
Going downstairs. You have to hit the bottom of the ball there, or it's just not going to rise.
Dribbler Martin quickly out, and another. And that's not the most difficult play in the world, but he is really, really quick. Earlier, you heard Clint Hurdle talk about the play he made on Jean Segura.
This is child's play here.
Yeah.
He is quick out of that catcher's position. And he plays the position with such confidence, too. I mean, he knows he's capable of making those plays.
Made them before. Gold Glover. The Gold Glove, 2007 with the Dodgers. He was drafted by the Dodgers in the 17th round in 2002. (2-0) on Segura. He has singled and struck out, stolen a base, and scored the run. Now Liriano falls behind him 3-0 after 2 outs.
And Liriano kind of shadowing the progress of his outing last time out against the Mets. Pitch in for a strike. The Mets, he had 5 1/3. He'd given up a total of 6 hits. He's gone 4 2/3 now. He's given up 4 hits. 9 strikeouts in. He's got 7 so far.
Another strike. Can he come back and get Segura after falling behind 3-0? Just hangs in there, fouls us off. Here's that play we talked about. 8th inning last night. It's a 1-run game. Segura, the National League stolen base leader, at the plate. Braun on deck. Melanson gets the strikeout, and Segura takes off. Off-balance throw, a strike to get him.
And he slipped before he got the ball.
Again, Clint Hurdle called it one of the greatest plays he's ever seen a catcher make. And Segura is aboard with 2 outs.
This is let me throw a strike so I don't walk him. You get the strike upstairs to a good hitter outside. You're just going to go with it and do exactly what Segura did. That's a get me over fastball. Good hitters take advantage. Trying to avoid the walk. Makes sense. Make him earn it. Don't give it to him.
They're 1 for 2 in the stolen base department. Segura swiped second in the 1st inning. Braun robbed of extra bases by McCutchen in the 1st, walked his last time up. Takes low. .77 pitches thrown by Liriano. He threw 90 in that game against the Mets on Saturday. Now he falls behind Braun 2-0. Pirates and Liriano initially agreed to a 2-year, $12.75 million deal. But then he got hurt, broken non-throwing arm. They adjusted that. He's guaranteed just $1 million now. And that could escalate back to the original contract if he reaches certain incentives.
That's $1 million per year. So
yes.
Still a
2-year deal.
2-year deal. It's a significant adjustment.
Yeah. He broke his non-throwing arm Christmas Day. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Neil Huntington said that he thinks that time off kind of re-energized Liriano. Unable to pitch for a while until that arm healed, and that he realized how much he missed pitching. He's healthy. A few years ago underwent Tommy John surgery. He and Johan Santana were unbelievable in 2006.
Liriano was 12-3.
He's a rookie. 2.16 ERA that year.
And they do the surgical work. Comes back in 2010, has a good year, wins 14.
He was named the American League's Comeback Player of the Year in 2010. It's 2-2 on Braun. Reaches out and he singles to right. Putting runners at first and third.
Two quick outs, 2 quick hits.
Both going the other way on Liriano. Segura and Braun hit the ball to right.
Well, sooner or later, if he keeps working people outside and keeps working and working and working, you as a right-hand batter, you've got to figure, well, when I come up that 3rd time, is he going to keep trying to work me outside? Segura and Braun have both taken those pitches the opposite way.
Hit number 6 for the Brewers.
Everybody adjusts. If they see that throughout the game, they got to say, I'm going to see outside stuff, I got to hit it the opposite way.
So Searage out.
Another example too, that you have to eventually come inside and keep them off that outside pitch. That they might flop it out there, just hit a dead fish out there, but these are line drives that are going that way. You've got to protect your outside part of the plate by coming inside. You're trying to take that pitch away from you. If you get him off the plate, you can't do that. So let's see if Liriano and Martin decides to come in on this yet again, a right-hand batter and keep him off that outside part of the plate. Nope, want it out there. Of course, that's part of Francisco's game too, is to go downstairs, down and away, low and away, get the ground balls, keep the ball in the ground. It doesn't have to be on a regular basis. You just got to do it every once in a while. Protect it.
And another
change up.
2-0 now. Lucroy singled to drive in the first run in the first inning. Last time up, he bounced back to Liriano. Dave Joust, one of the coaches on the staff, talking now with Searage. 2-0. 2 on, 2 out. To left, and Marte should be there. He is. And Liriano works his way out of that trouble spot. With the halfway mark, it's a 1-1 ball game. Host the Astros tomorrow, 7:05. All fans take home a Pirates camo Jolly Roger t-shirt at the gates, just like the one Starling Marte has on, courtesy of Root Sports. Get to Federal Street before the game for the first Budweiser block party of the season, featuring local live music and alumni appearances at the Budweiser Bar. For tickets, go to pirates.com/FreeShirtFriday. Here comes Starling Marte. He has grounded to short, hit a ball to the warning track in center field. Marte, Snyder, McCutchen. That's good flow right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely. Yep. It fits.
Yep. The glove and the t-shirt. Good work there. Good flow. Can you explain what good flow means, Steve?
Your outfit, if it's got flow from top to bottom, not just a good-looking shirt or a pair of slacks. I mean, it could be the stitching in your Docksiders that you've been wearing 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's just like right now it's Gatsby. It's all about Gatsby,
right?
It's Gatsby. It's all Gatsby. It's pastels and a splash.
A bunt, and looked as though Betancourt was ready for it, but the ball dropped by Gonzalez.
What a play at third base! What a drop at first.
Betancourt pounced on that ball and threw a strike to Gonzalez, but he dropped it. They give Marte a base hit.
Well, thank you for the Marte base hit, but that's a stone drop. What's wrong there? Did he get concerned with the runner?
Hey,
or is it just a shortstop playing first base?
The other day we saw a routine ground ball to a third baseman thrown into the dirt, and they gave the guy a hit, so don't ask me. You remember that play?
Yep. Right there. That's a shortstop playing first base. He heard the footprints, as Yogi used to say.
Well, Marte probably going to steal. I mean, if Snyder and Alvarez can steal a base, you got to believe that Marte is going to take off.
I would agree with you completely.
They're expecting perhaps a bunt. There's a close play there.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Marte with 10 steals.
Thought that was quick enough to get a call. But a good call at first base. Once again, the umpire validated.
Thanks to the AGH cam. The umpire's favorite, the AGH cam, just confirms their calls. Third baseman is in on the grass. Another throw over, but higher throw to Gonzalez.
He's doing the right thing there. He just held the set position. And for a guy that wants to steal, that gets you very antsy when they come to the set position and just hold it.
Well, at the very least, the Pirates base runners now have the attention of Burgos. So we'll see if that impacts what he does on his way to the plate. And it's driven deep to right center field. Travis Snyder clear the deck. Cannon ball coming. His first of the year. 3-1 Bucks.
And you wonder how much of Marte was on Burgos's mind. But that's secondary. Primary, Travis Snyder gets a traveler. And that's that go zone. That's where the vapor trails go.
Feels good to get that first one.
That's a rocket.
Bouncing toward the Allegheny.
He just crushed this ball. Right in the heart of the hitting area.
He was figuring the fastball was on its way, and he sent it on its way, and a breaking ball's bounced foul. 0-2. McCutchen, a sharp single into left center his first time up, and he lined out to center field his last time. A line drive home run for Snyder. That ball's hit high in the air to center. One out. We're going to take a look and see if this ball didn't get wet, Steve.
It's heading in that direction.
Let's see it roll. There you see it. Give it your telestrator.
Yeah, okay, if we can stop it, well.
We'll do it again. And this time, Steve will actually use the telestrator, I think. Snyder talking to Marte. Marte definitely had the attention of Burgos. Snyder got the fastball and hit the home run. There's Garrett Jones. Takes a strike. He has struck out and bounced to second.
I'm all over this thing.
You're ready? You're ready this time.
I'm all over
it. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. All right. Did it make the river? Now we'll do it again.
Check it out.
Where is it, Steve? Where's that baseball? Okay.
Where?
All right. We'll do it again. We've got some time. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Garrett Jones.
I'm ready.
He's going to be ready this time. Third time's going to be the charm. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He is ready. This is a look at that. He's waiting. No, they've got this is a shot of you at work.
I'm hanging out there. You're hanging me out to dry.
We're going to wait till after the at-bat. We'll give you some time.
You said after the next pitch.
He's on it. He's ready. Ground ball right side and through. Garrett Jones, 1-out single, brings up Neil Walker. All right, we've got some drawing to do. Here we go, Steve. Third time now. Let's get it. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. There. Oh, that does it.
All right.
No, come on now.
We're good.
You can't do better than that.
Yeah, you can't see it either, can you?
Nobody can, huh? Yeah, we can see it going there. You did a great job. You get the whole... It rolled into the Allegheny. You were on it. Nailed it. A meeting on the mound. As Snyder hit the home run, and maybe Burgos a bit shaken. Rick Kranitz tries to settle him down. Steve?
Yes.
There it is.
You're supposed to freeze it when I circle it. Come on. What is this? Is a joke. I want this machine out of here.
Neil Walker has flied out and struck out. Pirates now lead 3-1. And Walker turns on one. Foul. Estimated distance of that home run, 458 feet. You know, the Pirates have said that it's not that Snyder doesn't have that kind of power. He does. Now, is he going to be a home run hitter down the road? I asked Neil Huntington about that a couple weeks ago. He said, you know, home runs essentially are mistakes. We don't want Snyder getting into the mode that maybe Tabata was in. Tabata felt like he had to hit home runs. Started changing his approach. They want Snyder to keep that approach. Tonight, 2 for 3. Lined out his first time up.
A bomb.
Two on Walker.
The late time call.
Pitchers love it.
Especially when you're getting knocked around a little bit. Okay, yeah. Now the hitter's in complete control. I'm out there dying.
Brewers have bullpen action going. This is the third time now that the Pirates have seen Burgos tonight, and Marte the bunt single, but then the Snyder hit. McCutchen got under his. Jones a single to right. Figueroa loosens in the bullpen.
Saw him earlier in the season, or the series rather.
He comes back and he gets Neil Walker. Second time he's gotten Walker. Third strikeout. Martin had the one-out double in the second inning. The Pirates could not bring him home. He flied out his last time up. That home run by Travis Snyder that traveled some 458 feet. The 31st river ball in PNC Park history. The Pirates PR department sends us that note. First since Garrett Jones, August 16th, 2011, keeping track of the number of balls that are hit into the river over the years.
That's why we wanted to cover it with a telestrator.
Yep.
For posterity.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they keep track of how many balls have been hit into the bushes over the years?
I don't think so. Oh. That's a good idea. Into the shrubbery in center field. I wonder if they shave that off every year, that shrubbery, and just redo it.
Probably. Do you remember when we had the Christmas trees the first few years?
No, I don't.
You don't remember that?
I don't.
From Indiana. First three years here at PNC Park, they had the Christmas trees, but not enough ground to keep them rooted. From Indiana, Pennsylvania, the Christmas tree capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Pop up, the runner went, and he might as well keep going. No reason to slow down with 2 outs. And Garrett Jones took off on the pop up, and Martin has his second hit. Jones took off.
It had a perfect look to it because the second baseman was going away from any possibility of making the catch. See him at second base, Ricky Weeks.
Alvarez now has grounded out and walked.
You can make a real big statement right now. That's with what they finished with last night, 2-run lead.
Ball one.
And this has got to be the toughest kind of pitcher for Pedro to deal with because this guy throws a lot of slow stuff up there. So when he throws a fastball at 88 miles an hour, it looks like a freight train. But you will mess with your timing. And Pedro Alvarez is very much a timing type hitter.
Dribbled up the first baseline. And that'll be the final out. But Travis Snyder, his first home run, a line drive that would roll into the Allegheny. 3-1 Pirates.
weekend series, 2-night games and a day game. Lyles, former Pirate Eric Bedard, and Norris against Gomez, Burnett, and Locke. Take a look at the difference in the ERAs. Lyles, 8.36, Bedard, 6.67, Bud Norris, 4.32, as opposed to 2.28, 2.73, and 3.15. So the numbers look good on the Pirates side. Both an ERA for the matchups on the weekend and team records coming into this series with the American League Houston Astros. Meanwhile, back here at PNC Park, Pirates pick up a deuce. They have a 3-1 lead going into the top of the sixth. Francisco Liriano back out on the mound.
What great relief from Travis Snyder.
Yep.
And home run.
Done deal, and with emphasis. He's off the hook.
Yep. And first pitch swinging.
Like that.
Don't know what Pirates have in mind in terms of Liriano, but he's due up second in the bottom half of this inning.
I think they'd like to have him get through the sixth inning.
Yeah.
The pitch count getting up
Still
there.
pretty decent, though, 84.
Yep.
That certainly helps at first pitch. Now, Grilli is not available. He has pitched 2 straight games, and you've heard Clint Hurdle say this before. He tries to not have a guy pitch more than 2 in a row. Now, he has done it twice this season, once with Melancon, once with Grilli. And Melancon has also thrown 2 straight games, but looks as though he's getting ready. It was going to be a game time decision. Hurdle said he was going to check it out with Melancon, but he was going to shut down Grilli for tonight. He has always said, I'm tied to the person. I'm not just tied to their arms.
But sometimes I've seen managers become untied. Though not that that's going to happen, but we'll see.
2-1 on Yuniesky Betancourt. He has struck out and singled. Three and one. Betancourt's first hit of the series, 1 for 12 now, and just 3 hits in 24 at-bats on this road trip.
One more wide one, and I think the leash would be shortened.
Well, didn't miss by a whole lot, just that not exactly where Liriano wanted it. Moved the Martin glove inside. Here is tonight's AGH Sports Medicine Injury Update. Charlie Morton, his first rehab start since experiencing some shoulder tightness. May 3rd start. He went 4 innings for AA Altoona, 2 hits, a couple of solo homers through 61 pitches, 44 strikes. Injury update brought to you by our friends at Allegheny Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The short leash leads to a pitcher's conference. Buy some time for the Pirate bullpen. You're exactly the point where Liriano was removed in New York, 5 1/3.
They've thrown 90 pitches. Pirates had a big lead. They lifted him, and Justin Wilson now starts to loosen in the Pirates bullpen. By the way, Morton is going to have 3 more outings, according to Clint Hurdle. Next time out, he's going to go to AAA Indy. Go 5 innings, 80 pitches, then 6 and 97 and 100. So he's still a good 3 weeks away from rejoining the Pirates. Lutz has struck out both times up. Jeff Karstens will be heading back down to Bradenton for the Marauders. Made his first rehab start the other day. They'll have some decisions to make. The Pirates will, regarding this rotation and the staff. When Morton is ready, when Karstens is ready, Garrett Cole, whenever they decide he is ready to join the team. Bouncing ball towards short. That's not a double play ball, and it's dropped by Barmes, who wanted to make a double play out of it, but he knows in his haste he drops the ball. Really tough to double up Weeks.
And obviously that hurts. It's a 3-1 ball game. You've opened the door. That would have been a big second out. Didn't happen. And on we go.
4th error of the season on Barmes. So it's Liriano now against Alex Gonzalez.
And Clint Barmes knows exactly how a pitcher feels when he's struggling to get outs. You know, you don't know how much more of a leash you have, and when you get that routine ground ball and you don't get the out, it's it hurts.
What he really wants now is a redeemer. Another ball at him. Ball 1.
And Liriano's been around long enough to know that these guys always make plays behind him that save him too. So he's also looking to give Clint Barmes an opportunity for that redeemer, or anybody. Get him off the hook, and well, that facial expression tells you all you need to know about Clint Barmes, how he feels about that play.
It's a strike, 1-1 on Alex Gonzalez.
You always feel good as a pitcher when you pick up one of your infielders. Errors are made. That's part of the dance.
One and 2. Pitcher spot on deck. Aramis Ramirez comes out on deck. Boy, they'd really love to see Gonzalez hit that ground ball, though Liriano's a strikeout type pitcher.
And he got Gonzalez to chase that outside fastball. Let's see if they set up that way. We'll watch Russell Martin give an indication of what he's trying to do. Back out.
Ground ball and foul just outside the third base bag. As much as you'd love a strikeout, hate to see Ramirez come to the plate with 2 on. That may be the case. Pirates lead 3-1.
I guess we cross that bridge when we come to it. Strikeout gets you second out.
Just get an out. But let's get 2 outs. Let's get the ground ball.
I like it. Let's write that script.
Close, 2-2, and now Martin.
They want to be sure now. There's 2 guys that have been around. Sometimes this is not just about the type of pitch. Okay, here's what we want to do. Here's exactly where I want this pitch. If you can give it to me here. A big issue in a tight ball game.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 away, and 2 aboard here. And a fly ball to Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, baby!
One runner moves up 90 feet. 2 outs. Betancourt moves to third. And now Aramis Ramirez.
Looked like another pitch delivered by Liriano out away. Martin wants it out away. Well, he probably wanted it a little further out away, and Gonzalez didn't miss hitting that ball real hard by much, but got under it and get the out.
That'll be it for him. A double switch here as Clint Hurdle goes to the home plate umpire Bill Wilkie to go over the switches. Justin Wilson's going to try and get the last out. Liriano will go 5 2/3, and he will give up 1 earned run. No more. And he exits looking for a W. brought to you by Head & Shoulders, now with Old Spice. Francisco Liriano, 7 punch-outs, Steve.
Yep. And look at the downstairs location on most of them. High percentages strikeouts either downstairs or away. Likes to stay away from the power. He can win it, he cannot lose it. Andy Rodriguez checking in. Gets in the dugout. Brandon Inch taking over at third base.
Double switch, so Justin Wilson, Clint Hurdle apparently wanting him to finish up this and then maybe go into the 7th. Wilson has provided him with some length. He talked about that today, as has Brian Morris, Vin Mazzaro. So Wilson will try and get this out and then go back out, apparently, for the 7th inning, as Aramis Ramirez bats for Burgos.
What you'd like to do, you'd like to get on the other side of Ramirez, put this 0 up on the board, and then get yourself some more offense so you can play around with your bullpen for the last 3 innings. Ramirez not happy with that call. Put up some more runs, it'll make it a lot more comfortable for the decisions that Clint would have to make as to how he works the last 3 innings. But first things first.
One and 2. Justin Wilson has gotten his fair share of strikeouts. That's been kind of a theme that we've talked about tonight. The strikeouts by Pirates pitchers. Relief pitchers have combined to whiff 138 batters. That's first among all major league teams. And Wilson looking to add to that total. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bounced foul by Ramirez. Ramirez started the first 3 games of this series. 1 hit in 13 at bats. Another souvenir. And another. Liriano done for the night. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts. That did miss by a lot. 98 miles per hour.
That's quick enough. Well, I could have got that call. Good job by Russell trying to buy the strike. So Liriano now, what, 10, 11 innings and 16 strikeouts. Yeah. Well, we've been waiting a long time since spring training started, and we knew he was going to be there. And just the Pirates doing a great job of holding the fort and kind of keeping a rotation together. And that, not that he's an anchor, but boy, that's a great addition to your starting 5.
Another 2-2 pitch. And a drive to center field. McCutchen with room. That'll do it. Justin Wilson strands a pair. And the line done for Liriano. 1 run in 5 2/3. Bucks lead 3-1. 18 and younger receive an A.J. Burnett replica camo jersey thanks to Chevrolet. And come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone out on Federal Street and stay after the game. Kids can run the bases. Go to Pirates.com for tickets. Again, that's this coming Sunday, 1:35, Pirates Astros, and all kids 14 and under will receive an A.J. Burnett replica camo jersey thanks to Chevrolet. Clint Hurdle, Russell Martin. Bucks in the 6th.
That's some kind of mysterious sign.
It is, isn't it?
A mystical thing.
The Ducks and the boats.
Mystical.
Alfredo Figueroa on in relief. Burgos gave up 3 runs, 8 hits in 5 innings.
A walk and 3 strikeouts.
Barmes, RBI double in the 4th that tied the game. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Figueroa pitched 2 innings on Tuesday night, the 9th and 10th frames. Gave up a pair of hits and bounced deep short. Segura, high throw and a safe call at first. Gonzalez went up to get it, came down on the bag, and Adrian Johnson says Barmes beat it out.
And they're going to charge Segura with an error.
This doesn't make any sense.
Ball gets beyond the third baseman, makes it a very difficult long throw, catches a flyer.
A good throw gets him, but I guess I'm looking for consistency. You look back at that play we talked about earlier where Tony Watson got charged an earned run on a routine ground ball. Well, that is a close play there. Whether he actually got him before he hit the bag? Yeah, I think he did.
Close.
So E6.
Well, Barmes feeling better about everything as he got picked up by Liriano and Wilson.
And taking off is Barmes as Inge fouls it out of play. Pirates are running on Lucroy and the Brewers. Travis Snyder has stolen a base, as has Pedro Alvarez. Each with his first, and Barmes looking for his first as he was on the move. Barmes hasn't stolen a base since he was with the Houston Astros. He had 3 2 years ago. Grab there by Aoki. Marichka Aoki off the crack of the bat.
Well, I'd love to see him just come up a little bit short on that. Everybody still be running, but go side saddle. It's that big glove around it. Above average play for sure.
Brings up Starling Marte. Hey, Francisco Liriano joins us, and we can't thank him enough for being with us. And Francisco, congratulations, 2 fine starts. What did this one feel like tonight?
Just a battle. And, I just feel that, it was a battle out there today, and, just had some trouble early on today, and just getting, deep in the counts and a couple hitters. So just, was a battle out there, but, other than that, I think everything was fine.
A good feeling getting on the other side of the first start in front of the home crowd?
Yeah, it's a great feeling to get the first one out of the way and just, get ready for my next start and hopefully I can do, better.
We had a play where Clint Barmes made an error. I know every starting pitcher loves to pick up his infielders. That had to be a good feel. Yeah.
He been great playing out there, so he played hard, and that's part of the game. So just trying to get another ground ball so we can make a double play. But we got a 5-ball out, and just part of the game.
Any concerns about a pitch count? Do you feel comfortable out there in the 6th inning?
Yeah, I feel great. I didn't get tired at all. Just from when I started, just trying to go deeper in the game, throw less pitches for an inning, and just get better on that.
Well, congratulations. You've done a great job. It really helps to have you out there solidifying the rotation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Francisco Liriano, for being with us. Francisco Liriano, who tonight went 5 2/3, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, and in line to start out his Pirates career 2-0 in 2 starts. As Marte, who reached on an infield single to start the 5th and scored on the Snyder home run, faces Figueroa. One ball, 2 strikes. So Barmes might have been leaning there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hey, it's got to be good to be good weather. You start to see the players sweating a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been a long time coming.
Hit well by Marte toward right, and over the head of Aoki, tried to deke the runner. Barmes is going to be held at third as Marte doubles to right center over the head of Aoki. Second and third with 1 away, and the second straight hit for Marte.
Another ball carrying well to right center field, and Aoki got lucky. He got the perfect bounce back to him, or else Barmes is going to score. This ball has a lot of carry to it. Breaking ball up and away. And there's the decoy, and there's the comfortable bounce. There's a lot of different kind of surfaces out there. You can get all kind of bounces. He got a good one.
Double for Starling Marte. 2 more hits. 9th double of the season. And now 52 hits on the year. The infield in all the way around. Snyder has lined out, reached on an infield single, and homered.
And this is what you want. Score a bunch of runs so it makes it comfortable for the bullpen.
And a little fister in the shallow center field, and it drops in for a hit. Barmes figured it was in, but stopped halfway down the line, and Travis Snyder having himself a night.
Just a little flare that has a chance of being caught. Perhaps if the infield is back, who knows? Maybe so, maybe not. Ball drops in, the Pirates add on. Doesn't get a lot of it.
There's a pop up to shallow center in front of Gomez, and now it is 4-1. Travis Snyder watches. Picks up another ribby. Great night for Snyder.
And I think that ball is far enough away where even if they're playing back, I think it was too deep for an infielder, so that ball was going to drop in.
Now McCutchen. He is 1 for 3. Pirates now with 10 hits and trying to put the game away maybe here in the 6th inning. And that does become important because, well, you know Grilly's not going to be used tonight, and maybe not Melanson, but no doubt Hurdle would prefer not to use either, and that would keep them fresh and available both for tomorrow when the Astros come in. Pirates love scoring late. Excellent job of that this season. Hutchin trying to hit that one to Blawnox.
99 miles an hour.
Man.
It is flat out tough to catch up with high 99 mile an hour heat.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on, 1 out. The Pirates have added another run. And add another. Another hard hit ball by McCutchen. He's rewarded with the RBI single. And the Pirates now lead it 5-1.
And counting.
22nd ribby of the season for McCutchen. Marte scores another run. Another solid hit for McCutchen. He's 2 for 4. 11 hits for Pittsburgh. Another visit to the mound for Rick Kranitz.
Nice to see the Pirates break one open. We have had low-scoring games, tight games throughout this series. There's breathing room.
Mike Fiers gave up the walk-off home run to McCutchen the other night. Garrett Jones, 1 for 3. Snyder and McCutchen, the base runners. Ground ball and up the middle, a base hit. This will score another run. McCutchen goes to third.
Keep the ball rolling.
The Pirates lead it 6-1. Garrett Jones, team leading 23rd ribby of the year.
Ground ball finds the hole. See, you can roll over on the ball and get a base hit.
Yeah, that's right. A ground single between Weeks and the second base bag. Snyder will score easily. That ball into right center field.
You get the ball rolling on this carpet instead of bouncing, it just drags like Velcro.
Big night for Snyder. 3 hits, a homer, 3 RBIs, a stolen base. And now here is Neil Walker, frustrated his last couple of times up, striking out against the starter Burgos.
You will join the party. Give an invitation. And Snyder came into the game hitting .275 with not all that many at bats, so he's bumped his average up considerably.
Infield still looking for a double play ball. Dribbler foul. Pirates figure they owe the Brewers payback
as much as they can
right?
pile up.
Just keep it. Yep. Pile it on.
And it's not too long before we see them again.
That's right. Head to Milwaukee. Next road trip. And 2. And a line drive base hit.
Keep the ball rolling.
Walker brings home McCutchen. It is 7-1. A double and 4 straight singles. Like a slow torture for these Brewers.
Well, you throw the ball up in that zone, hit hard by major league hitters.
And that's going to be it for Figueroa. Ron Renicky will call on Mike Fiers. The Pirates with 13 hits lead at 7-1. Still have 2 aboard with 1 away in this 6th inning. And they'll look to keep piling it on. Francisco Liriano and the Bucco Bats, the story tonight. Liriano kept the Brewers in check. 5 2/3, 1 run, 6 hits. Justin Wilson got the last out. And the Pirates here in the 6th inning, just piling it on. They've scored 4 runs. Still only 1 out. And now Mike Fiers, who gave up the game-winning home run the other night, the walk-off dinger in the 12th to Andrew McCutchen, the first and only batter he faced. Now goes up against Russell Martin.
Well, Liriano not only good, but knows when to pitch when the Pirates are going to score a bunch of runs.
As they did Saturday in New York. Russell Martin is 2 for 3.
And, remarkably similar numbers as the dust settles over Liriano's start. 5 1/3 innings, 1 run, 2 strikeouts, or 2 walks the other day, 3 tonight. 7 strikeouts compared to 9.
Martin turning in and also bringing up that left elbow a little bit. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Demonstrate to everybody just exactly what he did.
One and 1 on Russell Martin. Pirates have now out-hit the Brewers 13-6. How about this? Figueroa faced 7 Pirate batters through 16 pitches. On the infield fly. Batter is out. Justin Wilson will get an at-bat. That's a lot of damage. 16 pitches.
Yeah.
And this all started with the error charged to Segura.
Didn't take much time.
No. Justin Wilson has collected 4 at-bats, striking out each time. You got the big out of Ramirez in the top of this 6th inning with 2 on. Pirates at the time leading 3-1. Now it is 7-1. Ninth man to bat in the inning.
Top 4 hitters for the Pirates have done some serious damage tonight.
Combining for 8 of the 13 hits. They've driven in 5 of the 7 top 4 men. Travis Snider really leading the way. 3 hits, 3 RBIs. His first home run. First stolen base. We talked about that at the outset of the ball game. It just fun to watch everybody contributing this season. Seems like one or two kind of lead the way each night in the lineup. And tonight, mainly Snider and his teammates follow along here. Fire strikes out pitcher Justin Wilson. 9 men to the plate. And the Pirates score 4 times, lead 7-1.
As they lead 7-1 here, we got a tweet coming in about Travis Snyder asking, how did he get the nickname Lunchbox, coming from Mary EG 914? Good question. Travis Snyder got the nickname Lunchbox because of his penchant for eating. He loves to cook, and his nickname is actually Lunchbox, and of course his Twitter name, Lunchbox Hero 45 the number he wore with the Toronto Blue Jays. But Travis Snyder, every single chance this guy gets, he is throwing a piece of meat, preferably steak, on the grill, or whenever he goes out on the road, he tries to eat as much steak as he can. And Greg and Steve, one cool thing, when he played for the Toronto Blue Jays, he was a food critic, a guest food critic for a local magazine there in the city, and he was able to critique a bunch of different foods, mostly nachos with steak on them. And hopefully sometime this season we'll be able to bring a camera and go cooking with Travis Snyder one day when we can.
Well, Robbie, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think somebody around here is going to do that, because you ever talk to him about that? He's very serious about it. He knows his meats. He loves to eat, and he is, as Robbie said, a connoisseur.
Well, you know, he played in Canada, so where they have that smoked meat. You talk about smoked.
Yeah,
that ball he smoked tonight.
Yeah, no question, man.
And that glove is big enough.
Even Lunchbox on his glove. Great tweets. A lot of it about the food.
I've got a write-in candidate. Thinking about MVPs in this ball club, how about a write-in candidate for Neil Huntington?
That's a good one.
Getting Melanson, getting Martin, taking the heat when he got rid of Hanrahan to put Grilly in there. Neil Huntington's had himself a pretty good year so far.
Well, by the end of the year, if this all works out, you're talking about not just us talking about Neil Huntington. Everybody around baseball will be talking about him, because he has the makings of building quite a club. And look at the rotation. You talk about getting Liriano, Morton, Karsten should be back at some point, then Cole, Neil Walker. A nice play there by Neil Walker to get Aoki.
And he's not easy to get. He got great speed. Garrett Jones will hear it from his teammates as he winds up flat on his back. Oh, yeah, you're going to take a short throw from second base and fall down, huh? Well, here comes Neil Walker. And it's an awkward reception by Garrett Jones.
He will hear about it. You saw him get up with a big smile. He knows.
Yep.
Fine play by Neil Walker.
Easier to smile when you're up 7-1.
Ball, no strikes on Gene Segura. 2 up, 2 down for Justin Wilson. Talking about Neil Huntington. How about Burnett?
Yeah.
Wandy Rodriguez. Well, he has built this club.
For years we heard about, okay, are we going to pick up somebody significant? And yes, that has been the case.
He really thought that last year at the deadline he was getting these players. Of course, he got Burnett before last season, but during the summer he gets Wandy Rodriguez for some minor leaguers, Travis Snyder for Brad Lincoln. And he really thought the additions of these players were going to help not only last year, push them over the top, but also for this season and beyond. And there's a routine ground out, 6-3. We were talking about Joel Hanrahan, and bad news for a really good guy, because he underwent that flexor tendon surgery today. They weren't certain about the ligament, and they found that he did indeed need ligament replacement surgery, Tommy John surgery, and bone spurs removed from major surgery performed by Dr. James Andrews in Birmingham, Alabama today. And Joel Hanrahan is out not only for this season, but beginning of next year. And Mark Melanson, one of the players that came over in that trade. He has been as good a setup man as you'll find in all of baseball. But thankfully, because the Pirates have added on, looks as though he'll be able to get some rest tonight and be ready along with Jason Grilly tomorrow.
Couldn't have played out better to this point. Still not over. 3 innings, so 2 1/3 now.
And boy, Wilson's going to get a quick 1-2-3, and who knows, we may see him in the 8th. Justin Wilson shutting it down. 7th inning stretch, going to keep it right here. And the Pirates have stretched out this lead. They tied it in the 4th. The home run by Snyder gave them the lead, and they added on in the 6th. Take me out to the ball game here at PNC Park.
Out to the ball game.
Mechanicsburg roots for the Pirates.
Hey, nice sign
we're talking.
Nice sign you made there, Greg.
Right below our booth, I think, behind Billy Murillo.
There you go. All right. Got the identification now right below us. First base side, third base side. Depends on which direction you're looking from.
Parmas takes a strike 0-2. Clint Parmas reached on the air by Segura. Doubled in a run in the fourth. It tied the game. One ball, 2 strikes. And that's popped out of play. Good to see Parmas contributing with the bat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, it is. Pretty neat. Pretty neat to see. Fly ball to center. Catch is made. MLB.com at bat, the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Did you know that, Steve?
Yep.
Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10.
Yep.
At Bat delivers Pirates baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Pirates.com for details.
You betcha.
What do you think, Troy? Yeah. Thumbs up from Troy. Here's Brandon Inge. Inge lined out to right. He's at bat last inning. What if Troy would like to do some color work?
Probably be pretty good at it.
Yeah. Steve was talking about the good flow from the top of the head down to the shoes.
There's team colors
Look
right
at that.
there.
That's good flow.
That's Bucco colors.
Yeah. I didn't know the Pirates had orange in there. Really? Seriously? What orange have you seen?
Right beside the gold.
Brandon Inge, little Lastings Village look. Man, no, not that.
I don't think
That's
so.
strong. No. Lastings had all the.
There's orange and black right there.
Yeah. Pop up, shallow right, and Aoki. Basket catch. Nicely done by the right fielder. Two-way in the bottom of the 7th. Comes up Starling Marte. Good story in the First Pitch magazine that is distributed here at PNC Park throughout the homestand. And most recent edition, the story by Jim Lachima about Starling Marte. About growing up and being a Vladimir Guerrero fan. And early on, it was John Wainer that said that he reminded him of a young Vladimir Guerrero.
Pretty good guy to emulate.
Yeah. One ball, one strike. You call him like a bad ball hitter at times, Guerrero?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd see him hit balls off the ground.
He was in that category.
It's so early in his career, but does he remind you of any of former Pirates over the years? Anything close?
Well, you know, people want to say Clemente, but he's not as quirky as Clemente physically. Clemente was all over the place, and I guess that's the first name I would think of heading in that direction. I think he's going to hit a lot more home runs than Clemente.
Yeah. Headed toward the seats. See if there's enough room. And a little gator arm there by Alex Gonzalez. I thought he was closer to the railing than he was. No play.
One of the things that you think of with Marte early on and Clemente is gap power to the gaps in right center and left center field. He runs like Clemente in terms of getting there, but different styles. Yeah. Clemente was a galloper. Marte has a smoother stride. He's got a terrific arm. We'll see how that plays out in terms of consistency and accuracy.
You figure he has a terrific future and that he's only going to get better. And you're talking about a player who, this is his first full year in the major leagues.
So they're learning him too.
Yeah,
so, before
that's right. Can he make the adjustments? Right.
Can't take him too far down the line. But the opportunity that he has had to prove what he's capable of doing, he's just maxed it out. You couldn't ask for much more.
Now, he is not a Rookie of the Year candidate. It's a high fly ball to center. Underneath it, Gomez makes the catch. And the Pirates go down in order in the bottom of the 7th. We'll head to the 8th inning. Speaking of the great one, Roberto Clemente. The Bucks lead here 7-1.
Presented by authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Our day automotive this day in Pirates history is on this date in 1957. The Pirates beat the Milwaukee Braves 2-1. Complete game by Bob Friend. Roberto Clemente, we're just talking about Clemente. Got the scoring started, a solo home run in the 4th inning. Then in the 7th, Gene Baker singled home Dick Groat. In the 2nd run, Eddie Matthews homered leading off the 9th. The Braves only run thanks to Day Automotive. We're going to make your day on this date, May 16th, 1957.
A couple of special people involved there. Roberto Clemente, of course, Bob Friend has been special, and also a third guy, Gene Baker, who I played for in 1961 in Batavia, New York, who, to my knowledge, Frank Robinson, the first black major league manager, but in a professional organization, Gene Baker might have been the first professional manager, and he was just a great man.
Total class.
1961. Right? I love Gene Baker. Goldie was his nickname.
Brian Morris takes over now.
Clemente, I still tell people he had the ability to take a 10-year major league veteran and turn him into a 10-year kid. You never wanted to take your eyes off him. He was just magic to watch.
Ball one. I get the impression that there are young fans now that have that impression. I'm not comparing McCutchen to Clemente, but McCutchen has that aura,
that magic
about him that you almost just can't take your eyes off him. And I think there are a lot of young Pirate fans are feeling that way about McCutchen these days.
And it's great to have person on your ball club that instills that kind of feel.
22 jersey.
The people that do those sensational things.
I mean, the play he made in the first inning, it's kind of get lost in the shuffle now. You're ahead 7-1, but that could have been the difference in this ball game. The play he made on the Ryan Braun drive.
Yeah, because a walk and a base hit to start the ball game.
I mean, that's a double off the wall. Braun's aboard. Now you can't recreate what then Lucroy would have done. He ended up getting a base hit that scored Segura, but the inning would have continued. Obviously, wouldn't have been the out. And that's a game-changing play in the very first inning.
Yep, got a pitcher out there trying to get his feet on the ground, and it didn't have any height. There was no wiggle room in this play. He locked into it visually and just was locked. It's like those Top Gun things when, in that movie, the radar locks in and it's over. It's great to watch special players. It's why we all love the game. Those guys come along and they take it to a different level of enjoyment and excitement.
You're seeing a lot of shots of young fans on hand enjoying, a lot of smiles. That's what makes another thing that makes this game great and separates it from all the other sports. Nothing against the other sports, but you just can't do this. Bring your kids and your family, spend some time with them. And any other sport, it's the only place that can do it.
And the amount of games that you can watch. You see a star, and you see them 162 games or 81 home games or whatever you want to do, as much as you want to get of them.
Still the greatest family game, family sport of all.
I went to my grandson's school about 3 weeks ago, and I asked as many kids as I go, who's your favorite player? Andrew. Not even McCutcheon. Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew. They know him by his first name. And I think one of the neat things at this point that Andrew has a sense of that. And that.
A great sense of responsibility, and he's happy to take that.
That's when it gets good. Yeah, there's the
dreads.
Yep.
Dread the dreads, they say. The year of the pirate. Gomez down on strikes as Brian Morris walked Lucroy to start the inning, but strikes out Gomez and just add another K to the totals for Pirates pitchers and the relievers.
Slider down underneath the strike zone, gets the chase. And when a super player, when a star like Andrew McCutcheon or the other real high, when they embrace that and they're aware of what their effect is on not just fans but especially kids, I think it enriches both sides.
Yep. Maybe you have that connection, Steve, with a region, a town, a fan base that is so special. And over the years, the Pirates haven't had enough of that. When you have the combination, Barry Bonds was a great player. Barry Bonds couldn't connect. He's a bad person.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Couldn't connect.
Andrew McCutcheon is the antithesis of Barry Bonds in terms of good people.
Yep.
And Willie Stargell had that. Stargell had that sense about that responsibility that he had for the team and for the region and the town.
Yeah, and I've always said as an athlete too, if you reach out a foot and a half, these people in this town will reach out a mile.
Yep.
And
right.
Then you have a relationship. You can have an athlete up on a pedestal, but you really don't want a great player to be up on a pedestal. You want him to be in amongst everybody.
But a lot of 21s all over the place. By the way, this Sunday, a special Heroes game theme where we'll find out from the Pirate players who their heroes were growing up. Sure, you'll be able to tweet the booth and pass that along, who your hero was growing up, or heroes. And there's a double play ball. Barmes to Walker to Jones. Brian Morris puts up a scoreless top of the 8th inning.
against the Brewers for the third time in 4 ball games. Well, unique thing took place in St. Paul, Minnesota. Paul Rizzo, who is 60 years of age, tried out for the St. Paul Saints, the independent team up there in St. Paul. He was a 6th-round pick of the Pirates back in 1973 out of California, San Mateo, when he was drafted. But he suffered a shoulder injury, and at that time, they didn't have surgical procedures advanced enough to really help a guy heal and get his career back together. So we had a little unfinished business, Greg and Steve, and wanted to give it a shot. So on Sunday, May 5th, he did make a tryout with the team, and he was able to throw in the low 80s. However, all the roster spots were taken. They just couldn't find enough space to get Paul Rizzo on the roster. But a neat little way to close out a would-be baseball career, possibly in the major leagues, for a guy like Paul Rizzo. But, Steve, could you imagine being 60 years of age and hitting 82 on the radar gun?
I love it. I love it. That's a neat story.
Jose Contreras, a veteran, still pitching in the big leagues now with the Pirates. Yeah, that is a great story, though. Another veteran, Frankie Rodriguez, called up today from the minor leagues. They re-signed him.
I think I saw the number, right? 284 career saves.
Mm-hmm. If they hadn't called him up, he could have opted out of his minor league contract. So apparently the deal going to pay him $2 million. Made some appearances at Single A and Triple A. And coming back up to the Milwaukee Brewers. Last season, 72 innings, 4.38 ERA. Shot. Travis Snyder hit the ball well there. He'll settle for a 3-for-5 night.
Greg, I'll be very honest with you. When I worked with Dr. Richard Crowley down in the fantasy camp and did some throwing in some of those games, I had fantasies of going to an independent league team.
Now, you never told me.
And pitching 1 inning.
Really?
I thought about it.
That's neat. I wish you had done that. Why didn't you do that? That would have been an unbelievable story.
I didn't have the guts to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But for those that don't know that story, that is a great story, because you quietly for a while would meet with him and he talked you through it, and then one day you decided to go out to that bullpen.
Yeah, and
right?
I wound up pitching in a fantasy league camp fantasy game and pitched 1-to-1 batter. That's all I wanted to do. When Chuck Tanner was the manager, he said, "You want to come out?" And I said, "No." I pitched 8 innings that day and threw the ball where I wanted to. It was an absolute joy.
That's great.
And then I finally decided, okay, I did that. That's good enough. I don't have to take it any further. But I did have this little theme, this little thing running through me. Well, wouldn't it be able to go out west like Rizzo did?
Yeah.
And pitch 1 inning. But the fantasy camp was enough. It was great. And I credit Dr. Richard Crowley and also Trent Jewett, who was out there with me at 7 o'clock at Pirate City.
Those mornings. That's what I was talking about. When you went out to the bullpen, and before you went to the fantasy camp, because you had to make sure that you could get this done. And Trent, quietly, you and he, off to the side. Yeah. Nobody else knew about it.
It was neat. Every morning he'd come out there. It was a big deal for me.
It was great. It's a great story.
So I applaud Mr. Rizzo. And Robbie, appreciate that story.
Yep. By the way, is that whole story in your book?
Yeah. Not about going out to play. Yeah.
Oh, what was that? Was Robbie close to getting that foul ball? Let's take a look. Here's Robbie and Smokowski, and
it's an E-Rob.
That one stung, man. It's going to be red tomorrow when I wake up.
Gave it a shot. Look at that. The
K-Rod and
right
E-Rob.
Robbie I.
And that's
you could see the mark right here if you look real close, square right.
Hey, Robbie, it's an error. Let it go.
I need a glove. I would have had it. I promise you.
He had a glove and he got it. Young Bucko fan.
He's got a baseball boy. He's not going to let that go.
I'd rather he gets the ball than me.
I want to hear Dave's take on this.
Dave's in charge of that whole program.
Dave, what did you see?
Did you get scared on that?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You think I was going to catch it?
I thought you were going to catch it.
Yeah, you're a liar. It's okay.
Ball hit deep to center field, but to the track. And the catch is made. Again, McCutchen. And a good wood on it, 2 away. I don't think Dave has any fear. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
Dave, I've never seen I've never seen you like this. You ruined my illusions.
Doesn't lie, Dave.
No, it doesn't lie. There's no way I was ducking. There's no question about it.
It's Dave, our fantastic audio guy, everyone. He gets scared when foul balls come here, so it'll happen often.
That's ruined
Absolutely.
every image I've had with Dave. That has ruined everything.
I'm with you on that. That's a stunner. Garrett Jones takes a strike. 2 for 4. RBI in the 6th.
See how much fun you can have when you're up by 6?
Winning does that. You can have fun. And how good does it feel to be winning? And sorry, Brewers, but the Pirates are doing it to Milwaukee.
Yeah, that adds a little sweetness.
I don't think you'll find any sympathy.
No, that's the way it
Pirate
works.
fans.
No sympathy.
August of 2009, the last time the Pirates won a series at PNC Park against the Brewers.
And this is going to be one of these quirky things too, that these 4-game series that the Pirates are doing so well in, they're losing the first game of each one of them.
This would be finishing up tonight if they get the W, the 4th time, the 4th 4-game series that they lose the first one and then win the next 3. It is quirky. Take you back to those 4-game series. First one was against the Braves here at PNC Park. Pirates lost that one on April the 18th and won the next 3. They went to Philadelphia. That road trip for a 4-gamer. They lost the first one on a Monday night. Garrett Jones swings and misses. And that will do it. The Buccos lead the Milwaukee Brewers here 7-1. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. And maybe a hint that it involves Travis Snyder. 3 for 5 tonight, 3 RBIs. Bounced the ball into the Allegheny.
And the renaissance of the Pirates.
Of a team, huh?
Coming back against the Brewers. Take a look at Renaissance Hotel in the rest of downtown Pittsburgh.
Pirates 3 outs away from going 24-17 on the year. Gaining a game on the Cardinals. They've moved within 2.5 of the first place Cardinals in the Central. Jose Contreras bats in Garrett Jones' spot of the order. 4-hole. Gabby Sanchez takes over at first base. Sanchez will bat in the 7th spot. 5th appearance for Jose Contreras.
And in addition to the offense, 7 runs, 13 hits, once again, as it seems to be all the time. Pirate bullpen.
Are they playing shark music when they called on Contreras and Wilson?
What's shark music? Oh, the Jaws?
I guess.
Theme?
They've named themselves the Shark Tank, and I understand that we're actually going to see an actual Shark Tank, an aquarium, in the Pirates clubhouse.
Why have it in the clubhouse? Why not have it in the bullpen where everybody can enjoy it?
Do you remember, we were talking about Goose Gossage, do you remember when they actually had a goose?
Yeah.
A live goose in the Pirates bullpen?
Yep.
And they'd walk him out when Gossage came out, they'd walk out the
They
goose.
had him on a leash?
Yep. Did he go? Quick appeal from the home plate umpire, Bill Welke, but Adrian Johnson said no. Welke has struck out twice.
I don't know how many pet sharks you wind up with, though.
Pirates kind of hopeful that Contreras, once he gets it going again, could be part of that 7th inning. And he strikes out Weeks. I mean, we've already talked about the lights out. But once you get through 7, you've got the lead. If you're the Pirates, it's a W, practically locked up with Melanson and Grilli. And they've done good work in earlier innings, the setup men.
Up and in, way in.
Contreras could end up being a 7th inning guy. Well, they got seems like a bunch of candidates. They're doing a great job.
And that can be a rotating kind of scenario.
Cuban defector Jose Contreras came to the big leagues with the Yankees. Some years with the White Sox.
Right now in baseball, there's nobody doing a better job in the 8th and 9th inning than the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's just that simple. Just looking forward this summer to seeing more and more of the kids coming out.
Yeah. Bounce to third. Nice little play there by Inge. He's solid over there defensively. Brandon Inge. (22-0) this season when leading after 8, and one more out to make it 23-0. And tomorrow, those Raise the Jolly Roger t-shirts, and the Astros in for the first of 3. Logan Schaefer pinch hitting for Rodriguez. Strike 1. Rob King, Kemp Colby after the game. Break it all down for you.
Folks here taking the 9th inning stretch. Everybody on their feet for out number 27.
Francisco Liriano about to go to 2-0 in his 2 starts. The bullpen finishing up perhaps with 3 1/3 hitless innings. Justin Wilson, Brian Morris, now Jose Contreras. One and 2. Now he's ahead. Let's see if we don't see that Contreras fork ball. splitter. Struck him out. Raised the Jolly Roger. Pirates win another 4-game series. And they do it this time against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Solid night all the way around. Good pitching, a lot of hitting. That's a pretty good combination. Rock solid bullpen. And in the big picture, the Pirates go to 7 games over 500, 24-17. So far, so good.
Fourth 4-game series win this season. Earliest with 4 4-game series wins in team history. We were breaking it down for you earlier. The Mets last weekend and now the Brewers. And the Astros coming to town. Big night for Travis Snyder, the Pirates offense. And let's send it out to Robin T.
Greg and Steve, thank you very much. Nice to see some dominoes falling. Every time it seems like the Pirates are doing something good, it's the first time in team history or the first time since 92 or 79 team. This is the first time since July of 2000.